going to show you guys a plant called Hypericum perforatum, or Saint John's wort. And I personally don't endorse the use of it as an antidepressant. I think it can be effective in some cases, but they often make the extracts out of the aerial parts of the plant and the leaves, and not the flowering tops. And traditionally, the flowering tops were what were used. For me, the most useful part of St. John's wort is an oil made from the flowering tops. And what you do is you pack a mason jar filled with these flowers. And these are okay, even though they're a little past their flowering stage. Fill it all the way to the top, and then fill it with organic olive oil, or some other oil, but I prefer olive oil. And you let that sit for 6 weeks. And it's essential that you cover the top of the herbs in the jar, because if you don't, they'll go bad very, very quickly. And one way to identify this plant is first off by, oops, who's got a paper piece? Sorry, friend. The growth habit. It has alternating stems on opposite sides. So there's a node with 2 here, it alternates, node with 2 there. And once it gets to this point, it's pretty easy to identify because there's a little cluster, almost like a wild carrot, of yellow flowers. And they start off kind of that color right there. And then they'll open up. And these always open up the end of June to early July in New England. In other parts of the country, they open at different times. And one characteristic that's very, very identifiable with Hypericum, which you're probably not going to be able to see, but if you were to hold these little leaves up to the light, there's these little perforations in the leaves, kind of like a perforated sheet of paper that you tear off. And these are glands. And it's actually these glands and some of the glands in the flowers that produce this beautiful, beautiful crimson, deep red color oil. And again, use these in olive oil packed to the top in a mason jar. Leave them for 6 weeks. And that oil is good for muscle pain. It's good for nerve regeneration. It's traditionally been used for when there's a sprain of a muscle. It helps to reset and realign those muscles. There are some chiropractors who will start with an application of St. John's wort oil on the back of their patient. And some say just that is enough to realign the back because it loosens up those muscles. I use it personally on my knee because I have kind of a painful knee when I'm going downhill long distances, and it saved me multiple times and loosened up my knee enough to get down and be safe and not be in too much pain. Another use, which I've been using this year, is to use it as a sunscreen. And if you're going to use it as a sunscreen, it's essential you do not add the leaves into the mixture. The hypericum oil of the flowering tops is an excellent sunscreen. If you add the leaves, you can become photosensitive. And again, that's my argument against many of the antidepressants made from St. John's wort, is they use the leaves and flowering tops. Thus, they have warnings on all the labels about photosensitivity. So, very important to use only the flowering tops, especially as a sunscreen. But I've been trying that on myself and other people this summer, and I've had amazing success. I actually was at the beach, and everywhere but my shoulder was fine. And I forgot to add St. John's wort oil to my shoulder, and that was a little bit burnt up there. So, very good confirmation of that use. Again, look for the opposite growth pattern, the alternate leaves, and the flowering tops in late June and July. Good luck.